Hola, so we are going to discuss the past subjunctive to express influence, emotions, doubts, and denial in the past. Okay, so let's see some examples here. He's saying, mi consejera me sugirió que trabajara como voluntario. And so in this case, he's saying, my counselor suggested me to work as a volunteer. So trabajara is in the imperfect subjunctive. La mía, she's saying, la mía me recomendó que consiguiera un trabajo con inmigrantes. So mine recommended me to get a job with immigrants. And so consiguiera, it's in the imperfect subjunctive. So let's see when we use this tense. In cases, for example, when we have a verb in the preterite, that's in our main clause, and then in the subordinate clause is going to be the imperfect subjunctive right here. If it's in the imperfect, like insistía, and so it's going to be insistía en que Tomás me ayudara, imperfect subjunctive. If it's in the conditional, like here, conditional, insistiría en que Tomás me ayudara, imperfect subjunctive. And then pluperfect, había insistido en que Tomás me ayudara, imperfect subjunctive, right here. So when we have adjective clauses, because we've talked about this before, when we have two clauses that they are describing or referring to people, places, and things, when they're non-specific or hypothetical or non-existent. In this case, we're going to use the perfect subjunctive because the verb in the main clause is in the past. Here. Quería conocer a alguien que supiera muchos idiomas. So I wanted, right, in the past. I wanted to meet someone that knew several languages. So supiera is in the perfect subjunctive. Non-existent. No había nadie que pudiera traducir esta carta. So there was no one who could translate this letter. Pudiera in the imperfect subjunctive. So also when we have adverbial clauses, these ones, the adverbial clauses refer to the past. Okay, so and in this case, we are going to need to use the imperfect subjunctive as well. Dos chicos entraron en la guardería sin que yo los viera. So two kids went into the daycare center without my seeing them. And in this case, it happened, right? They went in, and so viera in the imperfect subjunctive. So in this activity, this is Luisa. So she works or volunteers at a center where they feed people, like a shelter, right? Or like you can go and get some food if you need to. And so she volunteers at this shelter. And so in here, all these verbs are in the past. And so trabajaba, worked, pensaba, thought, importaba, something that she cared about. And so let's see. Let's go to the next one, then we can see which ones are the correct ones. Okay, so it says, Luisa trabajaba de voluntaria en un comedor de caridad porque ella no quería que nadie tuviera hambre. In this case, Luisa worked as a volunteer at a shelter because she didn't want anyone to be hungry. Okay, and so pudiera. And because the verb is in the past, the imperfect subjunctive needs to be, of course, in the past as well. También pensaba que era importante que hubiera suficiente comida para todos. So in this case, she also thought that it was important that there was enough food for everyone. Hubiera in the imperfect subjunctive. And then, le importaba que la gente sin dinero pudiera comer. So it was important to her that people without money were able to eat well. Pudiera, imperfect subjunctive. So here's a practice, you will have to write the right conjugation of the verb in the imperfect subjunctive form. And so here, all those verbs are in the past, and so you will have to use this and transform them into the imperfect subjunctive to complete these sentences. Okay, so this is all for today, and I'll see you next time. Ciao!